Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. So today I'm going to be doing a loot video of Gnome Restaurant. And if you don't know what this minigame is, it's a really old minigame. It's actually one of the first minigames in the game, although really early on it wasn't classified as a minigame, and it didn't have a rework until late 2006. So yeah, we're going to be traveling back in time and doing this loot video for you guys. And before I get into anything, I want to say that my friend, Awesome Level 99, also did this loot video. We were doing it together because she knew more about it than I did. So we thought we would each make one, and then we would each make a video of it, on it. So I will have her video or channel in the description, so go check her out if you want to. Either way, but yeah, as for the minigame itself, what you do is you go to the Gnome Stronghold, and then there's this guy who needs you to send deliveries to various gnomes throughout Gielinor, and you have to send food that you make yourself. You can't buy the food, you have to make it yourself, I believe. You might be able to buy it on the GE, but I'm pretty sure you have to make it yourself still. Either way, the cooking part of it is you're just like preparing everything, and it's a really click intensive, so it is kind of annoying, and it's about 2 hours for the amount of food I made. I could make a lot less than I needed to. I just made 15 of each of the foods that are in the game. There's about 15 different foods, so I didn't have to do all that. So you could probably make all the food you need for 100 runs in 45 minutes to an hour. But I took 2 hours, so I'm still going to say 2 hours, and I have a lot of food left over. I'll probably keep it for now, just if I ever want to do this minigame again, because you guys will see it is pretty decent money if you get lucky. And as for the actual runs themselves, that took around 3 hours, I want to say. So a good benchmark is that this took 5 hours, but if you make only enough food for 100 and you get my luck, it could probably take only 4 hours, maybe 3.5, because I was pretty slow on the runs. Even down to 3 hours if you really rush. I mean, I'm just throwing numbers out here. I mean, they might not be true, they might not be accurate, but let's just say 5 hours is mine. So yeah, so you just go deliver the things, and each run usually takes 30 seconds to a minute, depending on which one they are. And they give you random rewards, like, you know, they can give you noted uncuts, they can give you bolts, they can give you runes, key halves. They can also give you four or five different unique items from like the gnome area. They can give you the grand seed pods, and they teleport you to the gnome stronghold, but they're also worth 8k each, and they give you a stackable amount, so that is a good reward. And you can also get mint cakes, and those are like 1700 each, so that's also pretty decent. But the reward that you want is either the gnome goggles, which are like 300 400k, and they're really rare, or the gnome scarfs, which are 5.3 mil, and I think they're about the same rate as the goggles. That is what you're searching for. You really want to get a scarf, and you only can get a scarf from 2 different of the gnome deliveries, and that is Captain Derkin and Captain Ninto, and those are the hard deliveries. Always do the hard ones, don't do the easy, because easy doesn't give you absolutely anything, just coins, and it's like 500, so it's not worth doing the easy. Always do hard, and then you basically send them the food that they want, and they're all spread out throughout Runescape. So pretty much every time you get Derkin and Ninto, you gotta rush really hard, memorize their location, and just rush to them, because the chances of the gnome scarf, or basically a chance of getting a good reward from the delivery, depends on how fast you do it. So if you're really fast, you have a really good chance of a gnome scarf, but if you're kind of slow on it, you can still get a good chance of getting it. And don't do this minigame if you don't have a lot of teleports like unlocked and stuff. Like good ones are like just a bunch of teleport jewelry. Tokozo is great as well. There's a lot of other teleports that are needed for this, to be honest. And I don't know if there's any quest requirements, but I would recommend having spirit trees and the gliders unlocked. And I don't know exactly which quests those are, but they're pretty introductory quests into members, so you should probably have them. So enough talking about the minigame itself, let's talk about my loot specifically. So I did 100 runs, like I said, and it was pretty relaxing. After like 33 runs, I had no luck, so I was kind of sad, but on like my 34th run, I believe, let's just say that number, it's around the 30s, I got a gnome scarf, and I was freaking out, so that was awesome. That was a 5.3 mil, just hit right there. And then about only 4 more runs later, I got another one, so that was pretty sick. So that was 2 gnome scarves within like 37 runs, and 37 runs is about an hour, maybe less, probably an hour with my speed. So I made 11 mil that hour. In the first hour, I made 11 mil. So you can see if you have luck, you will make absolute great money here, and it has like no requirements whatsoever. So if you want to get really good money and you don't have PVM skill, or you're just not that great at stats, I mean, this is a great mini game to do, and it is kind of fun after a while. I mean, it is tedious, like especially making the food, but it can get pretty fun when you're searching for that scarf. Other than that, nothing else happened, but I just finished the remaining 100 and nothing happened. So I think we go into the loot now and see how much I actually made. So here I am with the tab for this loot video, and as you can see, you don't get that much variety of items. I mean, that doesn't matter. I mean, you do make good money. The amount of items doesn't really matter. So as you can see, they give a lot of like uncuts and stuff. Like I got 67 sapphires. The key halves are really nice to get as well, because they do add up more than the other items. Like as you can see, you can get like 9 natures in one run, so that can be a really bad one. Same with like bird's nest and like bolts. I mean, some runs you don't profit like at all, but some runs you do profit like a lot. Like look at the gnome scarves. The majority of the money is from the gnome scarves, but you can also make a lot more money on top of that with the grand seed pods and the mint cakes, as you'll see in the price check. So I think we go into the price check so you can get an idea of how much I made. So 13.5 mil, as I said, that is really good in 5 hours. And the grand seed pods alone are about 2 mil. So just those, you can make a good amount of money in 3 hours of running. So I made like, you know, like 700k, 600 something k an hour just from the grand seed pods of the running. But that doesn't count the cooking. That does take a considerable amount of time of this, but I probably have enough food to run for a good 9 hours. So don't worry about the 2 hours of that you use there. Anyways, the mint cakes do add up a little bit, and of course the scarves. Look at that, about 11 mil just from the scarves. So that's what you're hunting for. You might go 100 runs dry, you never know, but honestly, if you do like a test of like 1,000, you will probably get 10, 15 scarves, honestly, maybe even more. So yeah, apparently they do sell at this price as well, but I will find out when I sell. I'll meet you guys when I'm back after they sell. So everything's sold, and the scarves sold for a little bit less than GE, about 150k lower each than the GE price. So that isn't too horrible. I mean, it's still over 5 mil, but the other thing is that the grand seed pods did not sell that well. The first 100 sold for 6k, the second 100 sold for 4,500, and then the remaining sold for like 3k. So they do not sell at 8k. I mean, they probably do overnight, but I want to make this video quick, and I don't want to wait like for the next day, you know. So I only lost about 600k on the grand seed pods, but I still ended up with 12.4 mil in around 5 hours, I'd say. But let's just minus an hour from that, to be honest, because I didn't need that extra food. So let's say it took an hour to make the food, because I honestly could do half of the work that I did for 100 runs. So let's say this is 4 hours, and that means I made 3 mil an hour just doing this. All I know is this minigame is probably 1.5 mil to 2 mil an hour on average if you do this for hours on end, and the gnome scarfs would probably end up being at that amount. If you want to make money and you have low stats and stuff, this is a great way to do it, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this loot video. I will have another one in the next few days, but either way, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.